Welcome back, bakers, to day 5 of this 5 days gluten-free sourdough bread challenge. So far, we've made rolls, flour artisan loaf, a classic sandwich bread, and a granola bread. But today I'm taking my master gluten-free sourdough and transforming it into something traditional yet modern. A gluten-free sourdough miche or country loaf. And because I still had some leftover dough, I made an additional bread, so you'll see at the end of the video. Traditionally known as country bread or miche, it's a large, round French country loaf made to sustain families for days. It's baked in communal oven or your home oven. These loaves were known for their thick crust, rustic appearance, and deep earthy flavor. My version keeps that spirit alive, only it's totally gluten-free and plant-based. Using my master dough, I enriched the recipe using Teff and red quinoa for texture and flavor. And I introduced a little bit of quinoa starter and Teff starter along with a dash of apple cider. The apple cider brought a natural sweetness and an unexpected beautiful shine in the end. You'll see the crust. And it gave the niche its own unique character. I kneaded the dough until I had a dough that was like fairly uniform and it barely had any cracks. So keep that in mind. I prepared my banneton like I've done before in previous videos with a little bit of flour, and I just placed it there and proofed my dough for about 4 hours. It took for me about 4 hours to proof. If your kitchen is hotter, it will take less. And here it is, puffy, completely proofed. I added more rice flour, turn it around, and just simply score my bread. My oven is preheated at 500 Fahrenheit degree, and I baked it for almost an hour and 30 minutes. It was a long baked. But let's take a look at this crumb. This crumb was dense, yet it was soft, and the flavor was pretty complex but delicious with that red quinoa. And remember when I told you that I had a leftover dough? Well, guess where I'm going with this? You already know, if you follow me on Instagram, that I decided to make a focaccia bread. So I cut some rosemary and a little bit of olive oil, and I mixed it throughout. Just make sure everything is mixed in. I transformed this dough into a focaccia simply by adding rosemary and olive oil, and I preheated again my oven at 500 Fahrenheit and plenty of steam. Both of the loaves were baked with steam all the way. I proofed my rosemary focaccia for the same amount of time that I proofed my miche, and I baked the focaccia for less time. It was just for an hour. Again, like all of my loaf, some rice flour on the bottom or corn meal, whatever you like, or any other flour. I did put more olive oil at the top. And then I just like it's traditionally made, I just started doing the dimples and place it in my Dutch oven. I always use a Dutch oven. And here it is. Although I did the dimples, they did not came out, but you'll see the crumb inside. It is a delicious loaf of bread. Hear that? Because I use olive oil, it changed the texture of the crust, and almost like if I used butter in it, and it was delicious. Now look at that crumb. Come on, guys. The 5th day, we had 2 delicious loaves of bread. This challenge, bakers, was all about pushing the boundaries of gluten-free sourdough. Over 5 days, I proved that with a solid master dough, you can create 6 incredible, versatile gluten-free sourdough loaves. Now, I invite you to try this at home. Grab my recipe, experiment with your flavors, and discover the limitless potential of gluten-free sourdough baking. If you Download that recipe. You will receive this coming week a complete guide of all of these breads so you can try them if you want to do the same that I did. Keep on baking, bakers. Until next time.